Hey there, what's going on everybody? Hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to be taking a look at the family adventure film Duma. Spoilers ahead. We open on a series of long steady shots of the African landscape and its inhabitants in their natural environment in South Africa: monkeys, cheetahs, lions, and various birds. It's a serene, peaceful landscape that feels untouched by human hands. That night a baby cheetah goes for a late stroll by itself, clearly lost. It stops at a fence but manages to push through the wide opening and then stumbles through to the other side. This sees the wild animal on a road with a pair of headlights approaching it. It looks like the car might run it down, only for it to swerve off the road just in time. The driver of the car is Peter, a local farmer who's on his way home with his son Zon. Both father and son are equally surprised to find a wild baby cheetah in this part of the country, but they quickly trap and rescue it from an oncoming truck that nearly runs them and the cheetah over. Well, that clearly indicates how long the cheetah would have survived on its own. They take the cheetah home, showing Zon's mother Kristen the wild cub. They aren't so much concerned with having a wild animal in their house, but more for the safety of the lost cub. So that night the cub sleeps in Zon's bed, and we see a connection grow between the two. As expected, the family decided to keep and raise the cheetah as their own, at least for now. A manta shows the cheetah getting used to his new surroundings as well as his new family. Same goes to Zon, Peter, and Kristen. They all do what they can to adapt to the new member of their farm. One job Zen has is to name the cheetah, and he eventually settles with Duma, the Swahili name for cheetah. A few scenes show Zen and his father bonding on the farm. They build a tree house together, ride on a scooter, do all kinds of things, and of course Duma is there watching on. One day, however, Peter falls sick and has to go to the hospital, and although he returns after a few weeks seemingly alright, he's clearly still a little down, and things aren't what they once were. Now one day, while hiding out in the tree house, Zon's father climbs up to have a word with him about Duma, and he explains to Zon that Duma is a wild animal, and they can't keep him on this farm forever. He continues to tell him that Duma wants to be free, that it is set for him to hunt, trap, chase, and live like other cheetahs. Well, Zon doesn't want Duma to go, but luckily his father has a plan. He shows Zon a map highlighting where they found Duma. He explains that the next weekend they'll travel to this location, camp out the night, and leave Duma behind with his kind. It's a sad moment for Zon, but he knows it's the right thing to do. Unfortunately, before the two are able to do this, Peter passes away suddenly. Kristen then explains to him that with Peter gone they can't live on the farm anymore and they're gonna have to sell it and move to the city. Zon rightly worries about Duma, and Kristen tells him that they'll send the cheetah to a reserve somewhere for him to live. But Zon doesn't want this. He wants Duma to be free in the wild. But Kristen explains that they have no choice. She has to worry about Zon first and Duma second. Zon attends his first day of school, and rightly he's a little nervous. What's worse is that the school has bullies, and right from the get-go they seem to have an eye out for him. And now back home, Duma is being kept inside a small apartment with Kristen's sister, and when Kristen leaves to pick up Zon from school, Duma manages to escape. Duma follows Kristen to the school. Now while Sam's in class, he's looking out the window and sees Duma watching. He goes to stand only for the teacher to call him out and orders him to stay put, but then someone screams from outside. More screams, and the class erupts. Zon hurries from the room knowing Duma is the cause. He chases Duma to a locker room, only to be confronted by the bullies. Seeing as they are bullies, they proceed to pick on and beat up Zon. That is until Duma steps in. One sight at that cheetah has the bullies wetting their pants, and fleeing should be a moment of triumph. But as they exit the locker room, a SWAT team comes after Duma. Zan and Duma flee alone. Now with no one to turn to, Zon realizes that Duma can't stay here any longer, but he also can't let his mother take the cheetah to that reserve. If Duma is going to make it home to live free with its kind, it'll be on Zon to get him there, and so he does. He leaves a note for his mother, and then steals his father's motorbike inside car. With Duma in the sidecar, Zon begins their epic journey, but as expected things soon go awry. They're cruising through the desert, miles away from road or civilization, when the engine on the bike suddenly gives out, stranding them literally in the middle of nowhere. Zon now has no choice but to push the bike along the desert, traveling until nighttime, where they come across the wreckage of a plane. Now they set themselves up there, clearly having no idea what the next step is, or if they're even gonna survive this. And that night, as Zon sleeps, a wandering vagrant Rip appears from out of the desert, and tries to steal the bike from right under Zon's nose. Well, he wakes up and confronts him. Luckily Rip's not a crazy person, he's just a little lost and saw an opportunity to steal a bike and shorten his journey, but as Zahn explains, the bike won't work unless it has gas, which obviously Rip doesn't have, but it's enough to break the ice, and the two are soon bonding. Now Rip offers in some water, but chastises him for giving some to Duma. He then explains that where he wants to go is 5 days' walk from their current location, but they might die of hunger long before then. He pitches the idea of eating Duma as a means to survive, but Zahn has a better idea. There are a couple of parachutes near the wreckage, and using some serious ingenuity, Zahn manages to strap them to the bike and create a sail, while now Zandam and Rip fly across the empty desert, wind in their sails, making up for all the time they lost sitting around. Even better is that now they won't have to eat Duma. Meanwhile, Zahn's mom is terrified for her son, and we see her print out missing posters. Using his knowledge of the desert, Rip manages to find fresh water by digging straight down into the earth. However, food is still a problem, but not to worry with Duma. Surely they can catch something. They put the cheetah to the test, setting it on an ostrich, and soon it's running after the bird at full speed. Well, Duma fails in its hunt, but it does manage to come across a nest with some large ostrich eggs. It might not be a fresh ostrich, but it's still something. And that night, as they're making a fire and enjoying their eggs, Zahn tells Rip of his plan to take Duma back where they found him as a cub. Rip, however, points out that this is very dangerous, mainly because of all the wild animals and their tendency to kill anyone they see. He offers to take Zahn halfway, but Zahn doesn't look like he trusts Rip one bit, but he also knows he has no other choice. So Zahn, Rip, and Duma walk the empty desert through the boiling heat. At one point, they come across an ancient stone wall where Rip finds a spearhead. He excitedly picks it up, only to hear a helicopter flying in the sky. The two rush to hide from the chopper, not even realizing that it's Zahn's mother searching for him, although we get the sense that even if Zahn knew, that he'd still hide out now. The next day they come across an abandoned diamond mine, and Rip insists on checking it out just in case they find